This is Exodus chapter 22, verse 16. It says, and if a man entice a maid, that means if a man seduces a virgin, it says that is not betrothed, that means she's not engaged to be married to another man, nor is she married to another man. It says, and lie with her, that means he has sex with her. It says, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. That means he pays the virgin mohar and keeps her as his wife. It says in verse 17, if her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. As you see here, it is the man who is said to be enticing the woman or the virgin, not the other way around. He took her virginity, and therefore he has to pay the mohar or the virgin mohar, which is translated here as dowry, not the other way around. I have an entire video going into the topic of virginity and the fact that sexual virginity only and uniquely applies to women, biblically speaking. There is no such thing as a physical male virgin. Go watch that video if you don't know what I'm talking about. It should be popping on the screen now. Women are the gatekeepers of sex. A decent looking woman who is financially poor and has no status can walk outside her house right now and ask random men for sex, and many of those men would happily oblige and have sex with her immediately. She doesn't need to convince them. She doesn't need to take them on a date. Nothing. So for a decent looking woman, especially if she's younger, she basically goes throughout her life deciding who she will allow to have sex with her and who she will not allow to have sex with her, whether she knows this consciously or not. For men, however, it's the opposite. Men have to put forth effort to achieve sex from women. Typically, they have to first achieve certain things like money or status, or they have to talk to the woman to try to get her to like him, etc. As it says here, he enticed her or seduced her. They have to do something. This is why prostitution is known as the oldest profession in the world, and it consists of men paying women for sex. The women do not pay the men for sex, typically, do they? A perfect analogy is that the man has the key and the woman has the lock. A key that can open various locks is considered to be what? A great key, right? For those who are familiar with master keys, you know that they can open various types of locks and are considered very valuable because of this. This is why in ancient times, for example, high status men, such as Gideon, who was a judge in Israel, such as King David, such as King Solomon, for example, and other men of prominence would have several wives. It's because these men were considered to be highly valuable. You see the same thing today with male celebrities. On the other hand, a lock that can be opened by various keys is considered to be a low value or a useless lock. Think about it. Would you want a lock on your front door that can be opened by various types of keys? No, you would not. You want a lock that only your key can open. Similarly, women who are promiscuous are able to be opened by various men and are therefore considered to be whores and low-value women. People understand this subconsciously, which is why If you ask a man how many sex partners he has had in his lifetime, many men will lie by inflating the number. Conversely, many women would be more inclined to lie by reducing or minimizing the number of sex partners they've had when asked. Now, this is not to say, of course, that men should be having sex indiscriminately. On the contrary, everyone has to be regulated. And for those who live biblically, these regulations are based on the scriptures. This is why, as we just read here, a man is supposed to take responsibility for any woman that he has sex with by keeping her as his wife. And he has a lifelong duty to her. If he disregards this duty, then he is breaking the law of Yah and is therefore sinning. Men and women are not the same, unlike what we're taught in the Western Roman Babylonian society that we live in. And sexual virginity does not apply to men. This is why you won't find a scripture that says that a man shall be put to death if he is not a virgin when he gets married. However, the Torah does state that if a man marries a woman under the pretense that she's a virgin and discovers that she's not really a virgin, she will be put to death unless her father has the proof that she was a virgin. As it says here in Deuteronomy chapter 22, starting at verse 16. And this is referring to the case where a man is accusing a woman of not being a virgin. So the woman's father is being spoken about here. This is verse 16. It says, and the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid. That means she wasn't a virgin, according to this man. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity, and they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. When it refers to tokens of virginity and the cloth, it's referring to the cloth that's laid under the couple before they consummate the marriage, before they go into the marriage chamber to have sex, which is what consummates the marriage. And on the cloth, there is expected to be some blood. There is expected to be some remnants that show or indicate that the woman was indeed a virgin when she had sex with this man, when she got married. If he did not have this evidence, then his daughter would be put to death for being a whore. You do not see any cases in the scriptures where a man is put to death for not being a virgin before he gets married, because as I already said, sexual virginity applies only to women. As I've explained in previous videos, scripturally speaking, a woman is considered to be analogous to the soil or the earth, and the man is the one who plants his seed into the soil, and it's supposed to be good soil. As it says here in Ecclesiasticus chapter 40 verse 1, it says, great travail is created for every man, and an heavy yoke is upon the sons of Adam, from the day that they go out of their mother's womb till the day that they return to the mother of all things. The sons of Adam are all of mankind. When it says that we will return to the mother of all things, it's referring to the earth. Again, the earth is personified as a woman. Here in Jeremiah chapter 3, verse 1, it says, they say, if a man put away his wife, and she go from him, and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? That's a rhetorical question. The answer is clearly not, which is made clear in Deuteronomy chapter 24. But it explains why. It says, shall not that land be greatly polluted again, a rhetorical question. That means that land, which is the woman, will be greatly polluted once she leaves her husband and goes and lays with another man, which is why he's unable to take her back. That's what that's referring to. Again, the woman is analogous to the land or the earth. And as it says here in Deuteronomy chapter 22, verse 9, it says, "Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds." That means when you're planting a garden, you aren't to mix different seeds into the same soil. And it tells you why. It says, "Lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled." So again, the woman is the soil. The man is the one who plants his seed into the soil. And there is not supposed to be different seeds, various kinds of seeds mixed into the same soil, or that fruit will be defiled. So the woman is the earth. The man plants his seed, which is called being a husbandman. As it says here in Genesis 9, verse 20, it says, "And Noah began to be an husbandman, and he planted a vineyard." That's what a husbandman does. What does that word mean? As it says here, it says husbandman. Originally, a householder or master of the house. That's one definition or meaning of the word husbandman. And then it says, is now limited in its meaning to farmer or tiller of the soil. And then it says, in this sense, it is the correct translation of the various biblical words. And then it goes into some biblical words that are translated in the English Bible as husbandman. What you see on the screen are the 5 marital statuses that exist for women, biblically speaking, which are a virgin, which is the Hebrew word Bethulah, wives or concubines, widows, divorced women, and I have an entire video on the subject of divorce that should be popping up on the screen now for those who are interested. The Messiah made it clear that the only reason that a man can divorce his wife is for fornication, and that once divorced, she cannot remarry. And then you have the final category, which is harlots or whores, and that includes adulteresses. The only exception to these marital statuses are women who were raped and or whose fathers did not allow them to marry the man that they had sex with, as we read in the beginning of this video. We should all be diligent to teach our sons and daughters the precepts of the scriptures so that they may have an understanding of how important sexual chastity is. Shalom.